Well, ho, 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 all my hoes. How are we doing? So I'm just finishing up putting all the names in the wheel, and then we'll be ready to spin. Alrighty, how are we doing tonight? Merry Christmas to all. Thank you for coming out on Christmas Eve. I appreciate it. Oh my goodness, I'm sorry. I had the stream on my computer. Okay. Anyone have any fun plans for Christmas? Let me know. I'd love to hear it. Sorry, I'm just finishing up putting all these names in the wheel so we can spin it. Thank you, Ben NG, John, and Matt, as well as Marvel and DC. Thank you all for showing up on Christmas Eve. I appreciate you. Opening gifts tonight. Lego for everyone. That's awesome, John. And then you got Matt. He's listening to his son yell at Xbox. Huh. That sounds like me when I was a teenager. Oh my goodness. Okay, we're getting down here. Yeah, I think that is everyone. Okay, let's see. We got 7 people in here. All right. I'm going to spin the wheel now. I put all the names in there. I believe there's 23 that went in. So here we go. Let's see who we got. We got Benji. Benji, and I think you're in here actually. So that's awesome, man. If you're on Instagram, you can hit me up on there. That's my preferred way to get a hold of me. But if not, I can shoot you my email. That's perfectly fine. All right, cool. So yeah, if you're not on Instagram, I will just post the email right here in the chat so that you can, okay, you're not on the gram. All right, I'm just gonna post my email that you can get a hold of me in the chat, and then just let me know the name that you want it addressed to, where it's going. So yeah, there you go. You can just email me anytime. All right, cool. Well, that's cool that it was someone in the chat, so I don't have to like track you down with it. So very nice. And congratulations, man. Merry Christmas. So there you go. You're getting a 9.2 of the first appearance of Kilowog. And, you know, some other little goodies that I'm going to throw in there. And I know you're a big DC fan, so very, very exciting. So yeah, anyone have anything they want to chat about? Gotta say, man, I'm really starting to reconsider being a DC fan with the recent news of this Harley Quinn fart comic. Like, what the heck is going on with that? Who's writing this? Who greenlit this? Like, did they apply for DC with their DeviantArt profile? I mean, that's what it seems like. Like, they did those Uncovered, which was like a compilation of covers. This just seems like a compilation of like DeviantArt shit. Like, what even is the story? Like, is Harley Quinn fucking Bo Raicho over here blasting enemies to the nether realm with her ass? Like, I don't know, man. Like, yeah, I'm obviously I love DC. There's a lot of good stuff going on, but man, this is just a literal shit stain on their reputation. We already have enough people getting sick and tired of what they're doing. Matt said, I hear the writers had a gas writing it. Ben says, say what? Yeah, dude. What the heck? Like, when we say we want you guys to take risks, this isn't what we meant. Like, this ain't it. So, I'm sorry. I just had to get that rant in. I didn't want to make it like a full-fledged video on the channel, but I just had to say, like, I already, you know, it'll stink. Yep. Oh my goodness. I'm sorry. I had to go off on that because I'm already not a big Harley Quinn fan, but like I just the way that these writers have disrespected her over the years, and it's almost like Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League was such an absolute abomination dumpster fire that they just want to turn Harley Quinn into a literal shit stain. I don't even know, but Harley Quinn fart. Yeah, they're making a fart fetish comic, and people are saying it's like an April Fool's thing. It's coming out like at the end of March, but regardless, like this shouldn't be happening. Whoever is responsible for this needs to be held accountable for their crimes. That's all I'm saying. I love DC. I will always love DC. But come on, like you're losing people. Yeah, they are turning her into a joke, Matt. Like they're really losing people with this. This is not the initiative that's getting people back in. Fart fetish, I kink shame. Yeah, I was like thinking, man, that you know, they say you're not supposed to kink shame, but like I think this is a justified reason to kink shame people. Like, if you're literally inserting your weird fetish, your weird, disgusting fetish into a comic, a superhero comic, a Batman character, then you deserve to be shamed for it. You deserve to be just blown out of the industry. Harley Quinn ass blast you to the nether realm, Bo Raicho style. Get the fuck out! Like, I'm sorry, but who is this writer and where did they find this person? That's all I'm saying. So, who is picking this up? Like, if you are, I have questions. I got questions for you, man. So yeah. Rant over. Yeah, it is a one-shot sort of April Fool's thing, but I don't know. This is pushing it a little bit. That's just going into a territory that I don't think I'm okay with. I'm not on board, but someone will buy it. Someone will buy it. There's a part of me that just wants to buy it and destroy all the copies, but that I don't want to support it. I don't want to give them any money. I don't want them to get the idea that this is okay. So, yeah. Rant over. Let's talk about something more positive. What were your favorite comics of the year? If you're here, write down in the chat. I put out a list of my favorite comics of the year, and I was feeling really good about the future of DC and just the future of comics in general. But then I heard about this, and it really just kind of made me question some things, you know? If you light it on fire, you can create the first appearance of Blue Angel. So yeah, let me know. What are your favorite comics of the year? If you have one, if you're reading modern comics, if you're not, then, I get it. I get it. I don't blame you. There's a lot of garbage coming out. I'm loving Superman Action Comics from Ben. Yeah, Superman's been really good. I had House of Brainiac on there as one of my favorite stories of the year. And I've really been liking Joshua Williamson's run. I haven't been reading it since Dan Mora came on art, but I really like Dan Mora. I've been hearing mixed things about Lois Lane as Superwoman, but I'm willing to give it a shot. Matt likes comics, says he likes Superman 19, revealing Time Trapper is Doomsday. Very cool. Yeah, I still haven't read that one yet, so I'll have to get to it soon. I've been a little bit behind, and I've kind of been prioritizing like Ghost Machine and the Absolute Universe, so I've kind of fallen behind a little bit in the main continuity of DC. I like a lot of it, but it is kind of hard to feel invested in stuff when you never know what's really going to matter or not. Let's see what else we got. Okay, Matt also liked the Superman Wonder Woman at the mall. Yeah, that was a really fun read. A lot of people hated on that one, but I thought it was fun. I thought it was really sweet. It had a really sweet Batman moment, and I really like it. I really like kind of the more under the radar kind of character driven stories, because I think DC is really, really good in a lot of ways with their character writing. And so, yeah, I really liked that one. Let's see what we got here. We got Rob's Fat Stacks. Thanks for popping in. DWJ Transformers has been a great surprise. I have been hearing a lot of good things about Transformers and that whole Energon universe. I've been hearing good things, yeah. Ultimate Spider-Man is the Spider-Man. Yeah, I've been hearing a lot of good things about that as well. I have not been hearing great things about the normal ASM run. I've been hearing very, very mixed things, but yeah, so awesome. Glad to hear it. Glad to hear everyone's finding comics they like. Got Crimson Ghost saying he likes the current Green Lantern series. Yeah, current Green Lantern's pretty good. I was reading a little bit of it. Again, that's another one I've fallen a bit behind on, but I love anything Green Lantern. I was really into Green Lantern War Journal. That was kind of more my reading priority. But I do want to go back and read the Jeremy Adams stuff. I did really like what I read of it. I picked up the first few issues, so maybe I'll grab a hardcover trade paperback of it. Check it out. We got Matt likes comics, says G.I. Joe Real American Heroes series is good. It's cool. I really don't know much about that. Batman and Robin has also had some fun interplay between father and son. Yeah, I agree, actually. I did read the first trade paperback or hardcover that they put out for that. I got a cool Target exclusive cover for that. So I did read that, and I read the annual back when that first came out, where they were on that camping trip, and that was a really cute, sweet story. I liked that one a lot. It's nice to see Damian and Bruce kind of getting that bond, that father-son bond. I know that things have been kind of rocky with them before that, so that's cool. Also, not this year, but the Batman movie tie-in Riddler comic. Oh yeah, yeah, from Marvel and DC. Really liked the Paul Dano Marvel. Can't speak. Holy. So we got a yeah, the Batman movie tie-in with the Riddler. Yeah, yeah, that was a cool one. I didn't read it, but I think it's cool that they did it, and that they had the actor for the Riddler actually write it. I don't know how it is. I'd like to check it out eventually. There are just so many things to read. Like, I want to read everything, but man, there are just not enough hours in the day, especially recently. I've definitely fallen behind on some of my reading because I've been plugging most of my free time into making YouTube videos, and that's just been my current obsession. I absolutely love making content. I love video production. So that has definitely been occupying a lot of my space and mental capacity. But I'm hoping very soon to have a little bit more free time on my hands to be able to do some of that stuff. And after the holidays, of course, January, February, those months are always pretty slow. So let's see where we are. John Big Daddy Ross said he liked Beneath the Trees That Nobody Sees. Yeah, that's one I keep hearing people recommend that. Kind of like a horror, sort of like Dexter type of story, right? Like sort of a serial killer thing. That definitely sounds like something I'd like to check out. I like indie stuff. I have not read nearly enough of it though. Like people keep asking me what my favorite indies are, and I really, really want to check out more. So that's something I really want to move towards in 2025. Of course, I'm still going to be picking up DC titles that I really like. I'm really actually excited that there's a new Aquaman coming out. So that's one that I will definitely be picking up and reading right away. There hasn't been an Aquaman series in a while. I'm still really excited about the Absolute stuff, but honestly, like Ghost Machine has blown me away. Like those stories have been really, really cool, and it really makes me want to check out more from Image. There's that one from I think Scotty Young, Ain't No Grave. I think I keep hearing about that one. That sounds pretty cool. Something is Killing the Children. Like I keep hearing about all these great stories that I want to read. It's just, man, it can be overwhelming being a comic fan sometimes. And then we got Matt likes comics. He said Nightwing Batgirl romance. He likes the Nightwing Batgirl romance. Yeah, I dig them together. I think that they're probably the best ship for, the Bat family. I thought it was kind of weird in the Arkham games how they made it Tim and Barbara. And I'm not even going to get into the Killing Joke. Oh my goodness. I'm glad I didn't have a YouTube channel active when that movie came out because, oh my goodness, I would have said some unthinkable things about that movie. But whatever. I mean, I did actually do a video showing off my entire DC movie shelf. That's the first video that I think you'll find on my channel. Like, obviously, I do have some older privated things, but I think the first public video that's on my channel is an hour-long video of showing off my entire DC movie collection, which I had all on its own shelf. And I still have to put that together at my new house, but it will definitely be getting its own spot. And so if you want to hear me talk about almost every DC movie, go watch that video after this. I think I did a pretty good job giving a little review for everything. And I remember I was just recording it, showing everything off, and I didn't even realize by the end of it, it was like an hour long, and I was like, oh shit. But I just posted it anyways, I used to love watching videos of people like showing off their movie and CD collections. And then when I started getting into comics and trying to find where to look for stuff, I started finding like trade paperback collection videos and hearing about all the recommendations. And so yeah, I really like that kind of stuff. I know a lot of people don't value physical media anymore, but it's something that will always be important to me. John Big Daddy Ross said Hyde Street's a lot of fun. Yeah, I'm loving Hyde Street, dude. I didn't really know anything about it or have any expectations other than I knew it would be great because Jeff Johns was writing it, of course, and the art by Ivan Reis, really, really cool. But yeah, Hyde Street was a big surprise. Really cool anthology sort of horror series that's going on right now. A lot different than some of the other horror series. So yeah, very, very cool. Yeah, thank you everyone. That was really fun to go through and read everyone's favorite comics. I really appreciate that. Yeah, so let's hope for the best in 2025. Everyone's really excited for the Superman movie, so that's a pretty good sign of things to come. I did not watch the trailer. I love movies, and I've over the years come to kind of avoid trailers. Oh, hey, John, thanks for stopping by. Peace. So, yeah, I love movies, and over the years, I've just kind of stopped watching trailers because I'm pretty good at determining if a movie is something I'm gonna like or not, and I just don't really like to have things spoiled for me. I like to just walk into things as blind as possible. And so I have not watched the Superman trailer. I'm sure it will come across my feed. I will see it at a movie theater somewhere. You know, that's pretty much where I see movie trailers now, is like when I go to the theater. But I don't really go out of my way to watch them. But I feel like I keep hearing more about crypto than I do about actually Superman. And that's okay with me. I mean, we all love, super pets. That was fun. And so I'm excited. I'm definitely excited for James Gunn to see his take on things. So, yeah, seems promising, but real talk, not the biggest fan of the whole like connected universe thing. I feel like there's just becoming too much. I would love to see it if they do it right. Like, I think they should really be building up to Blackest Night. I mean, and they're doing a Lantern show. So like that should be the event that DC works up to. Because a lot of the times they'll do like Crisis on Infinite Earths because that's just the one that everyone is familiar with. They've done it in TV, they've done it in movies whenever they are leading up to a big event. But Blackest Night, I mean, like in that case, you don't have to like do this crazy earth-shattering reset the universe. You could just have Blackest Night, and maybe some characters who have died over the years pop back up, and I think it'd be really cool if you build up a universe for like a decade and lead into Blackest Night. That's what I want from a DC universe. That would be sick. So yeah, we got Marvel and DC saying Riddler Year One is fun, but a little confusing because there's also a prequel novel called Before the Batman that has a very similar story. Yeah, I didn't know anything about that. Have to look into that. Yeah, I think I did hear about there being some kind of a prequel novel, kind of giving some backstory on the Riddler. So that it's likely where he took some of that inspiration from. And I'm sure that Matt Reeves and everyone involved in the movie had some sort of say in what would have happened in the comic, but that's still cool. I really hope they continue with the Matt Reeves universe. I know a lot of people are speculating things. Things are up in the air. Hey, MJ, thank you for stopping by. Merry Christmas. Appreciate you. So, yeah, I hope they continue with the Matt Reeves universe and we get Batman 2 and continue with the Penguin and all that. I mean, Penguin was popular, so it does give us a little bit of hope, but there's also the thought that maybe James Gunn might not want confusion between his Batman and the Matt Reeves Batman. And at this point, we just never really know what's going to happen. I mean, they cancel movies at the drop of a hat all the time. So who knows? Who really knows? But yeah, so yeah, let me know, guys. What do you want to see out of the James Gunn universe? Like, what's a character you think deserves their own movie? What's just what do you want to see? Like, what do you want from comics, DC, anything in 2025? Like, any fun pop culture stuff. What are you looking forward to? Let me know. And we got your boy, the alien. Thanks for stopping by. Steve Sorensen. Merry Christmas from Syracuse. What's up, my man? It's cold as fuck outside and the weather's shit. So, yeah, living it up in good old New York State here. There's a new Aquaman series. Yeah, Matt, I was just saying that. It's kind of funny because a couple months back, I did a video in Toronto and I made a joke about how there hadn't been an Aquaman comic in years. And I said, like, make Aquaman great again. And then right after that, we get a new ongoing Aquaman series announced. So, your girl's onto some stuff, maybe. But yeah, I'm really excited. Aquaman does not get enough love. I feel like they were like heavily pushing Aquaman for a few years because of Jason Momoa, but then once that whole universe started to die, and once it was realized that there was no continuation, like Aquaman 2, I thought was actually pretty good, but it tanked because they put like no marketing into it, because why would they? I mean, the universe was dead, so why would they? It's a shame though, because it was good. A lot of people want to see him as Lobo, so we'll see. I don't think it's gonna happen. I would like it, but I don't think it's gonna happen. We got Comics Odyssey. Merry Christmas from Western Canada. Personally, not interested in the movies anymore. I like the comics a lot more. I'm buying up all the DC Finest books. That's really cool, man. And I feel you. Like, real talk, I have been avoiding the movies for the last, 2 years. Like, I think the only new DC movie I watched was Aquaman 2. Like, since, Zack Snyder's Justice League. Like, I didn't see The Flash. I didn't see Blue Beetle. I didn't see... I saw Black Adam, but I like to block that one out of my memory. That was just... It wasn't even, that movie was just, offensively bad. It was offensively boring. Like, there was just nothing to that movie. So, yeah, I completely forgot about that one. But yeah, I've been avoiding the movies, and for a while, I was all about the animated movies, and that was my focus over the live action. But even recently, the animation has not been that good. Like, I did not care for what I saw of that Crisis on Infinite Earths movie. I only watched very little of the first part, and I fell asleep during it. It just wasn't for me. I really, since Apocalypse War, since they ended that whole New 52 universe they had going, I just have had a really hard time getting into those animated movies. There have been a couple that were okay. Like, there was a Jon Stewart Green Lantern one that was pretty good, but they did a Legion of Superheroes with Supergirl. I didn't really care for that one very much. It seemed like they definitely started cheapening out. You could tell that Warner Brothers has been struggling, and their animation department has been taking some cuts. They even cheapened the Blu-ray releases, and not in price. The prices went up, but they used to have like some really cool slipcovers for their animated movies, like some really cool embossed, like foil sort of effect slipcovers. And then they just, like, as the movies got worse and worse, the presentation also got worse and worse. And so yeah, sign of the times, I guess. Sign of the times. Steven Sorensen said Booster Gold and Ted Cord Blue Beetle doing a silly adventure where they screw up the timeline and then gotta fix it would be a good movie. That sounds like fun. Matt likes the new JSA. I think that's Jeff Johns, right? Am I right about that? That like the one thing he did for DC? I know he did like one comic for DC recently. So many YouTubers doing live streams today. Yeah, it's kind of surprising for Christmas Eve. You'd think that people would be off doing other things, but here we all are. I have a Christmas party to go to in a little bit, but I got time to chill. Steven Sorensen, again, Superman 2025 looks excellent. Can't wait. Well, that is awesome. I'm glad people are getting excited for it. I mean, I haven't seen this much excitement for a Marvel movie in a long time. Other than Deadpool and Wolverine, I guess but before that one, before Deadpool and Wolverine. So who knows? Maybe good movies are making a comeback. Maybe they're just getting sick and tired of losing so much money and supporters. Got Ben saying Batman and Robin Year One is great. I read the first issue of that, and I also thought it was great, and I need to catch up on it. So maybe this is my inspiration to do that soon. Because yeah, I really liked it. I really dig like the 1940s like noir type stuff, and I really like that Chris Samney art that really kind of just gets the golden age. It really gets that golden age feel going. So yeah, I dig it, man. I love like exploring different time periods and stuff like that. I'm big into history, and I think it's really interesting. So I love when they take Batman and characters like that back to different times. Like I said in my favorite comics of the year, I really liked The First Night, which was that Black Label story, going back to Batman's first year, but with more of a, modern take on Batman. So it was cool. We got Matt likes comics. Batman, Superman, World's Finest had a great Silver Age feel. Yeah, dude, I want to check that out. That's one I think I need to get in a collected edition because I missed it when it started coming out, and I've just been hearing nothing but great things about it. So yeah, that's one that I definitely will need to pick up in a collected edition. I don't know how many volumes there are yet, but yeah, that's one I would really like to see. I always really like the old team ups from the Silver Age. If you watch my channel, you'll see I pick up a lot of World's Finest, Brave and the Bold, stuff like that. So yeah, I always love when they take these classic concepts and put like a modern spin on it. So yeah, very cool. Got naysayers. They want Guillermo del Toro to direct a Swamp Thing movie. That would be cool. I'm pretty sure he was attached to a Justice League Dark movie that never happened. And so that's a little bit weird. Like I wonder what happened there. It's just that's the thing about some of these movies is that they can announce something, rumor something, and then, it'll just disappear without a trace. So that would be cool. I would be surprised if we don't get Swamp Thing at some point. Surprised we haven't had it already, but the movie universe for the last decade, I guess, we can just kind of forget. I mean, I liked Man of Steel. I liked Batman v Superman. And I think if they would have just let Zack Snyder go ahead with his vision, we'd be in a lot better of a spot than we are now. Some people might not like Zack Snyder that much, but you have to admit we would be better off than we are right now, where it just became a clusterfuck. They just didn't know what to do with it. And at first, I thought that was kind of cool that they were sort of just letting different directors come in and just make their vision and do their own thing with each character, sort of unconnected. Like, I really love Aquaman, and I like what James Wan did with that first movie, but, like, then you start getting into, like, once you got to Birds of Prey, I think they really lost me with the whole DC extended universe at that point. I mean, I like the new Suicide Squad movie, but I feel like that's probably more considered part of the James Gunn universe at this point. I think that's connected to like the Creature Commandos, which is now connected to the DC universe. I don't know, but okay, Swamp Thing would be cool. Your boy the alien said Blue Beetle was fun. Yeah, I might check it out eventually. That wasn't one that I was gonna rush out to the theaters to see, but I mean, if it's on Max, I'm sure I'll check it out eventually. I have heard some fairly good things about it. I don't really know that much about Blue Beetle as a character, so maybe that might be a good introduction. Other than like the animated Teen Titans movies, I do know a little bit just from watching those. Jason Price, James Gunn says he wants to do a Swamp Thing movie at some point. Yeah, that would be cool. I would love to see that, and I wonder what other characters would pop in. I know they're planning on going with like Keanu Reeves as Constantine. I don't know if that's supposed to be part of this universe or if it's something on its own. Let me know if you know anything about that, because I'm pretty sure it's confirmed and like they're actually moving into production for it. So if you know anything about that, the Keanu Reeves Constantine, put it down in the chat, because I would like to know more about that. I don't really like the idea of Keanu Reeves as Constantine. Like, I got nothing against Keanu Reeves, but to me, like, I feel like he's just so far off from the character. I think they're just going with it because he was really popular and the John Wick movies did really well. So they just want that star power to bring people back in. We got Steven said he refers to Black Adam as the Rock with superpowers. Yeah, that's pretty accurate how he kind of just hijacked that movie. Like, real talk, Shazam was okay, not my favorite by any means, but I think both Shazam and Black Adam would have been better off if they would have just had a Shazam movie where Black Adam was the villain, because that's what people wanted to see, and they didn't do that, and it wasn't very good. Neither one was really that great. I didn't see the second Shazam movie. I thought the first one was okay. Like it's a family movie, so that's one I'd watch like with kids if I had them, but I don't think I'd go out of my way. We got Dagger cards. Any luck at Dollar Tree yet? No. No, I've popped in a couple times. Normally I'll check in on like Fridays. That seems to be when they do their stocking. So maybe I'll check in on Friday and see if they got anything. But yeah, not anything in my area. Still bone dry. It's lonely being a DC nerd in the Marvel world from Ben. Yeah, I feel you, man. I feel you. Like, feel like the tides are turning though. Like, it's, there's still a long way to go, but I hear a lot more people complain about Marvel than DC. A lot of people seem pretty sour on some of the recent movies, shows, and comics, especially like outside of the Ultimate stuff, like the Ultimate Spider-Man. I've not been hearing very good things about Marvel comics recently. It seems like Image and Ghost Machine is really getting a lot of the attention for being some of the better comics. So Yeah, I think the tides are turning. Marvel might not be in that top spot unless if they really, really change something up. They might not keep that top spot, but we'll see. Justice League versus Fatal Five ruled was all about mental health. Yeah, that was an awesome movie. I never see that one talked about, but yeah, that was a really awesome movie. DC is on the up and up, though the Penguin was great. Maybe the best comic show from your boy Alien. Yeah, I really like what I've seen of the Penguin. I am behind on it, so I have to finish it. But yeah, I love mob shows. I've read quite a few books on like the mafia, and I've watched just about every movie you could think of, and probably some you haven't heard of. So yeah, I like mob stuff. I like Batman when it's focused on like it's grounded when it's focused on the organized crime in Gotham because Gotham itself really is kind of a villain on its own and just all the like corruption. So yeah, I'm really digging what they're doing with the Penguin, what they're doing with Matt Reeves and having that more grounded focus. Like I keep seeing rumors that like Clayface is going to be the villain in the Matt Reeves with no confirmation, and I think that they could do it. They could make it work, but I think that especially with the Penguin being so successful, it looks like they're leading into like kind of a gang war type thing, like maybe a war games kind of story or something like Dark Victory with the focus on Sophia. So yeah, I'm expecting a lot more grounded and not seeing some of the more wild characters. But all right. Okay, Jeff Lemire. Jeff Johns' run ended. Okay, so Jeff Johns was writing it at one point for JS. All right, cool. Comic Odyssey said, I would love to see a crime noir, The Question TV show. Yeah, that would be really cool. I dig The Question. I really liked what they were doing with her in Ram V's Detective Comics. I actually liked her parts, her little B story, more than the A story. Like, I kind of went into that a little bit late, and I had no idea what the fuck was going on. But I really liked that stuff with The Question. She was kind of like Bruce Wayne's off wherever the fuck he's been sent to, and The Question is just kind of doing a little detective work. So yeah, that was cool. I really dug that. Steven said he prefers Superman. Yeah, Superman's really cool. Like, especially in the last year or so, I've been becoming more and more of a Superman fan. And I've been picking up a lot more Superman. Like, honestly, I've probably been picking up more Superman than Batman in this recent year, just because Superman books are like dirt cheap. Like nobody really takes him seriously. So his books are always on sale, dirt cheap. I'm finding them in like dollar bins. So yeah, mostly Silver and Bronze Age. I really like picking up that from Superman. So yeah, cool. Marvel and DC. I always struggle with Superman. The idea of someone that invincible isn't too appealing to me. Well, for me, I think the idea of why I'm such a Superman fan is because Superman has those powers, and like he's arguably, other than Darkseid, one of the most powerful beings in the DC universe, but he doesn't use it all the time. He has to restrain himself. It's really a lot about his humanity, and that's what I really like about the character is the humanity, and just yeah. So yeah, I hear that a lot. That it's just he's too powerful, but I think that you know just. Okay, next up, we got Steve saying Mark Waid's Superman, Batman Superman's excellent. Yeah. Yep, a lot of people really like that one. Marvel and DC, Del Toro would be cool for Swamp Thing, yep. And then we got Ben. I'd like to see a Batman movie where he actually solves a mystery. Yeah, that Batman isn't really portrayed as that great of a detective a lot of the time for being the world's greatest detective. But I really like what they're doing with the Matt Reeves universe, and I really like that we're getting that true detective Batman, and people are starting to become more aware of Batman being a detective, because when I talk to people, they don't, like, people who don't read comics, they don't really know that Batman even is a detective, and that's like the main part of his character. It's kind of crazy. All right, we got naysayers. Can't wait for Constantine 2. Yeah, I'll definitely check it out. I mean, I don't hate the first Constantine movie. I don't think it's aged that well in terms of like some of the CGI and effects, but I mean, I don't hate it. It's just that when I think of Constantine, I think of Matt Ryan. Is that the actor who played him in live action and voiced him? Like, that guy just like is the physical embodiment of John Constantine. So I just have a hard time picturing someone who is nothing like John Constantine playing him. But that is neither here nor there. I don't make the casting choices, but if something's a good movie, something's a good movie, and I'll check it out. So yeah. Yeah, I'm fine with like changes to comics, changes to comic movies. As long as like they're telling a good story, as long as I see it and I'm like, this is something that people who aren't comic fans will be able to enjoy, and maybe it will bring them into comics, that's okay. Because I have to think about sometimes that these movies are made for a general movie going audience and not necessarily for us comic fans. So you have to think sometimes about that. But of course, I would love for public consciousness of these characters to go up, so that way we get more comic accurate stuff. And I think with James Gunn, we're definitely starting to get that. That's someone, like him or not, he cares about the comics, he loves these characters, and he wants them to be portrayed accurately. So I'm definitely excited for that. Marvel and DC, the Batman dives a lot more into the detective side. Yeah, I really, really like that. I think we're moving in a good direction, and I hope those continue because, I mean, I hope they go with, more of a detective angle for James Gunn, but we are going to have a heavy focus on Damian Wayne, so I guess we'll have to see, like, where they go with it. I'm still excited. I'm still interested. It'll be cool to see Damian in his first live-action portrayal, first, like, real Robin since the 90s, so cool. Uh, Dagger Card says, everyone loves a Canadian actor. My dad went to the same high school as Keanu did in Toronto. That is awesome, dude. Yeah, Keanu Reeves is cool. I got nothing against the guy as an actor. Yeah, cool guy, cool guy. Yeah, I've seen some like pictures of him where he's like kind of posing with women, and he like avoids like touching them inappropriately. So he just seems like an all-around good, wholesome dude. So that's cool. And I'm glad that, there are actual good people to look up to in the world, like celebrities with influence who are actually good people. Love to see that. Comics Odyssey says that the question is my favorite character. Should check out Ditko's original stories and Denny O'Neil's rework of the character Rick Veitch. Sorry. Also did a good question series. Okay, yeah, I'll look into that. That's a character that like I see pop up in a lot of Batman stories, a lot of other people's stories. But yeah, I haven't really read a lot of standalone questions, so cool. Matt Likes Comics says, I love that Superman is cheap because it has made my action run easy to make. Yeah, dude, I definitely want to fill up an action run eventually. It might be hard to get #1 and some of the Golden Age. I would love, dude, I would love to collect Golden Age books, but I'm definitely not in the financial spot for that right now. So lately I've been focusing on Silver Age because I really, really like that era. But yeah, I would love to pick up more Golden Age and yeah, Action Comics. I love the Action Comics run. There are a lot of fun stories from there. Marvel and DC says, I could see James Gunn want to tackle the question. Seems like a type of character who would draw his attention. Yeah, I could see that. Would you want to see the original or the Renee Montoya? Superman is my favorite. It's surprising how few fans are out there. Yeah, I know. Let's hope that this new movie maybe shakes things up and gets people more excited. Yeah, I feel like in general, people just have they think he's too powerful, he has too much, but I think when the right person is writing him, it's really he's a strong character, like not just physically, but like he's a real person. Even though he's an alien with all these powers, he is like the most human out of any of the Justice League members. And I really enjoyed Superman for All Seasons. I think that's probably my favorite Superman story I've read so far. And honestly, Luke, he might be mad at me for saying this, but he was crying after reading that story. Because, he just thought it was so sweet that at the end of the day, he's this big, bad superhero, but he's really just a boy from Kansas. And that's kind of what we all love about Superman. So yeah, we got Matt likes comics. Superman is powerful, but the character has always been a story of an outsider trying to fit in. Yeah, and I think that's awesome. I think it's great how like I was reading Superman Year One by Frank Miller, and there's a part where he's like in boot camp and he's like, looking at these people and he's like, like they're so weak, but they have to try so hard. They're trying so hard, and he really gains a respect for humanity, and he has to obviously hold himself back to try and match the level of them, and so yeah, I think it's there's a lot to Superman if you find the right stories. I will say when Superman is done right, the hopeful side of Superman is pretty cool from Marvel and DC. Yeah. Ben said, I think Jaime Reyes has potential to be DC's Miles Morales if they marketed him better. Yeah, I can see that. I could definitely see that. I don't know that much about the character, being honest, but yeah, I definitely think that DC hasn't really had that like breakout new character yet, like Marvel has had with Miles Morales. You keep having all these speculators that buy up every new first appearance, and I feel like a lot of that kind of like degrades and devalues some of these characters. So I mean, maybe we'll just have to wait like 10 years down the line and see who sticks around. But yeah, DC, they haven't really had like a Miles Morales type character. Ben Grimm, I'd love a Dead Man series. Okay, yeah, that one's one you don't hear much, but yeah, I'd love to see Dead Man. I'd love like the whole like magical Justice League Dark crew to come together and get their own little solo stories. That'd be cool. Yeah, I'd love to collect some of Neil Adams' Dead Man books. I have one that I picked up from his what is it? Strange Adventures. Okay, we got Marvel and DC. Honestly, I personally believe that Gunn is waiting to see the reception for Superman and the Batman Part 2, and it's why we haven't gotten the confirmed DCU Batman yet. Yeah, I could see that. They've been all over the place with Batman like for a while. Michael Keaton was slated to be a regular in the DCEU, and he was supposed to kind of take over Ben Affleck when he stepped away. And that's why that Batgirl movie was scrapped, because after The Flash fucking flopped, they're like, oh no, people don't want this. And I'm not the biggest fan of the Michael Keaton Batman movies. And nothing against Michael Keaton himself, but I'm not a Tim Burton fan. And I think it was kind of a little forced, kind of like desperate to get people back in with a little bit of extra star power. And so that happened, and they just completely scrapped everything related to Michael Keaton. So I could definitely see why they might be holding back to see what happens, what the reception is for the Batman 2, and determine what they're going to do moving forward in James Gunn's universe. Yeah, I could definitely see that. Matt likes comics. My action run is complete from issue 323. That's pretty cool. I mean, they're in the thousands, so yeah, it's not a bad run for sure. You definitely have more than me. I really need to get my stuff organized so that I can actually know how many issues I have. Alrighty, we got still only 35 cents. Hello. Still have a soft spot for John Byrne. Oh, yeah. It's always some good stuff. Okay, and we're at the bottom of the chat. Tim Burton got one thing right with the Batman movie. Jack Nicholson is the Joker. And yeah, that seems pretty accurate. Yeah, Jack Nicholson, cool actor. He's a funny guy. But I feel like those movies just became like the Joker. Like that first movie was a lot more Joker than Batman. And I think that, like, I love the Dark Knight movies, and they're some of my favorite movies, especially The Dark Knight. That's one of my favorites. But I feel like there really wasn't a movie that got Batman right, like live action that got Batman right until The Batman, like just because of that focus on detective work. But I missed a couple chats. We got Matt saying, no, but they have a break wind character in Harley. Yeah. I don't know what they're going with that. I don't know what they're going for, but I hope that people are happy with themselves. I hope they can sleep at night knowing that they're isolating their fan base like that. Because I mean, I was thinking about making some like clickbaity joke video, like I'm no longer a DC fan, and just ranting about that comic. But I don't know, man. It's not really the kind of content I want to make. I want to make stuff about, comics I'm enjoying and that I'm happy with. So that's why I threw that little rant in there earlier. So if you missed it, yeah, definitely check out the replay. I went on a little rant about Harley Quinn's Spark comic, and I just needed to get that out in some way. Got still only 35. Nice to hear Creature Commandos get a season 2 greenlit. Yeah, that's another one. I need to watch it still. I'm really bad at watching shows. I'm really bad at like sitting still in one place for that long. I watch, like I'll start a show and I'll be like, this is pretty good. But then I have a really hard time sticking to it. So we're going to see. We're going to get to it. One of these days, Luke and I will probably just binge watch the whole thing or most of the thing. But yeah, definitely need to check it out to get hyped up for James Gunn and his universe. Got Collecting Chaos. Tim Burton got... Oh, we already read that one. Okay. Yep. And then we got Zombie God 333. That's Luke. Jack Nicholson played himself in '89. Yeah. Luke's not here. I don't know where he is right now. He was out doing some Christmas shopping, some last minute Christmas shopping, because we were those people that year. Sorry. Tripping over my words. I've been talking almost nonstop for about an hour, so I'm starting to trip over my words a little bit. But Luke, where you at, homie? Your dad's party's starting soon. Yeah, we have to go to Luke's dad's for a Christmas party in a little bit. So yeah, I'm gonna have to kill the stream soon. So if anyone has like any questions for me, any little, comments they want me to read, get those in right now. And I'll be more than happy to read them for you. Matt Likes Comics says that was a cool place you went for his birthday. Yeah, that's it's called Say Cheese or the Comic Cafe. They have like two names, and I think Say Cheese is like just like a chain of restaurants, but this is like a franchise, and they just decide to deck it all out in comics, and like literally that whole place is just decked out in some kind of superhero poster or statue, or like life-size figure. Like there's all kinds of stuff, and yeah, it was fun. That's a place that's always fun to go to. Luke's birthday is actually tomorrow. He's a Christmas baby, and we went out with his mom on Saturday because they always do like a birthday party with the fam. So his birthday's tomorrow, so wish Luke an extra special 30th birthday. Christmas baby. My brother is also a Christmas baby, my younger brother. So I know a lot of Christmas babies. I've actually met quite a few people born on Christmas. You'd be surprised. Marvel and DC said, yeah, that's an issue I always had with The Dark Knight. Heath Ledger kind of hijacks the movie. Yeah, I love the Joker. We all love the Joker, but yeah, I think a lot of moviegoers are getting sick of the Joker, so it might be a while before, we see one again, and if we do, it will probably be, maybe a little bit more scaled back, but I don't know. Yeah, I really like, though, that Batman is starting to get the respect he deserves, and people are becoming more conscious of the fact that he's a detective. And so I hope that, I know the Joker was teased in the new Batman universe, and so I really hope that if they do bring him in, that it's balanced and that it doesn't take away from Batman in any way. Alrighty, let's see, we got some more chats coming in. Got Collecting Chaos. I've started working on my Superman's Girlfriend Lois Lane run again. I have just under half now. That's awesome. Yes, Lois Lane is actually really fun, That's one that I don't think a lot of people necessarily collect, so you can find a lot of those issues for cheap. I feel like the only one that really has, like, there are a couple that have like some value, like the first issue. Then you got that racial one, the one that's kind of controversial, and then you got the first appearance of Catwoman in the Silver Age, and I think those are the only Lois Lane books that really hold any sort of value. But they're fun. I love the Silver Age. I love like all that fun goofiness. I was raised on the Adam West show, so I always just really appreciate the campiness. That's what got me into comics. And of course, I'm a dark edgelord, and I love the dark, gritty, violent, gory, brutal, fucked up shit. Not farts, though. No. I like brutal. I like fucked up. We can do that, but once you start, oh my God, Luke is standing outside of the door playing the stream, and I can hear my voice on his phone. Okay. Angel Rivera, hello. Hello. Gotham and Glam. Luke, happy birthday. Thank you. All right, I'm just going to run to the other room real quick and grab my phone charger, because that would be really embarrassing. My phone died on screen. Check this out. For our phone, we got this little thing for our phone charger. I got that in one of those little Kinder eggs. Those little Funko Kinder eggs. I got a little Joker figure in one of them, and then I got alright. Okay, just shut off my ring light to plug that in, but that's okay. Alright, so where are we now? So we got Marvel and DC. Creature Commandos is fun so far. That's good to hear. I've been hearing lots of good things about that. Got Dwayne Muth. I haven't been there in years. It's a great place. Merry Christmas. Thank you. Are we talking about Say Cheese? Yeah, that's a fun place. Fellow Western New Yorker, maybe? Then we got Zombie God 333. That's Luke. I don't know why I just read that. That's Luke. Bale is a mid Batman and a horrible Bruce. I wouldn't say horrible necessarily, but I think mid. I think those movies are good because Christopher Nolan is such a phenomenal director. But Christian Bale, I mean, he's a great actor. He does a lot of great stuff. But yeah, I think his Batman was a little mid, and that I think has more to do with just the collective consciousness of Batman at the time kind of being, like people weren't really aware too much of his detective stuff. And I feel like, a year after The Dark Knight, you got Arkham Asylum, and I think that really kind of pushed more of the mainstream towards, seeing Batman as a detective, so I think that overall Arkham was really good for Batman as a character. Okay, douchebag 16. Thank you for being a light in the darkness that's the current comic book doom and gloom state that's rampant on YouTube. I hear so much, it's the end of comics. Comics won't exist in the coming decades. You know what, man? Comics won't exist in the coming decades if we let them go away. Like if we as comic fans keep this mentality that they're going to die, then they will. What we really have to do is vote with our wallets, and that's what people are doing right now. They're picking up Ghost Machine. They're picking up Absolute, Batman, Wonder Woman. They're picking up all these stories because they're actually good. Oh, hi. But yeah, like when stories are good, people will go pick them up, and that's just what we have to do. Like, don't go buy that Harley Quinn fart comic. Like, I mean, I guess if that's something that you really want, if you were the person asking for that, you're still welcome on this channel. I'm a fucking weirdo, so I have no room to judge anyone else. But I feel like you deserve a little bit of something, a little bit of talking to if you're the one letting that happen. Anyways, yeah, it's very, very good. I'm optimistic about the future of comic books. And I think as time goes on and better stories are produced, more and more people will be drawn to the comics. I think getting them in a Dollar Tree, Five Below, places like that, really, really good. I was thinking about making like a video that was kind of like talking about, how retailers, how publishers can help bring comics to a new generation. And I was gonna bring up, like they need to get comics back on the newsstands. They need to get them back in grocery stores. And even though like these are old reprints, to a lot of people, they're still new. Like a lot of people, these are new to them and they're number one. So I think this is great. This is honestly really good. And, I think it'd be good if, they were releasing new comics as well on the newsstand or in, just regular retail stores. But who knows? Maybe if this does well, we shall see. All right. Got Marvel and DC. Honestly, in regards to TV, Gotham gets criminally overlooked. I liked what they were doing with Jeremiah as like the Joker character. I only watched a little bit of the first season because again, I don't really watch a lot of shows. And I remember back in the day, I think I was in high school when that came out. I think it was like my senior year, like 2014, 2015. It was like my senior year. I remember like watching a few episodes of it, and I remember there was one episode that I hear a lot of people say is like the worst episode and got a lot of people to quit the show. And I think that's the one where I stopped watching it as well, like episode 3 or something like that. But I did go ahead and watch that episode, the Jeremiah episode from the first season. And I remember at the time just being blown away by like just how good that kid's acting was. Like that shit sent chills down my spine. The first time you hear him laugh and just call, you just like say that shit about his mom, like that was it's pretty intense. So yeah, I really, really liked that. But yeah, I'm really bad at watching shows, so I probably won't go through and watch all the seasons of Gotham. Real talk.
Yeah.
Maybe someday.
You know my problem with Christian Bale Batman? My problem with Christian Bale Batman, specifically Bruce Wayne, is I think he's kind of a mid Batman, and I don't think he brings a lot to the table except the ability to turn his head. But what I think is criminally overlooked is the fact that you take 100 white guys and you put them in a room, and Christian Bale being one of them, and you ask, "Oh, which one's Batman?" Christian Bale just like he's playing Batman the whole time. Even when he's Bruce Wayne, he's got that stern. He got the I don't know. He's looking like he's almost playing American Psycho. He reminds me of that a little too much. I think that's something that the animated series did well, and even '89 Batman is that Bruce Wayne was still a human being when he didn't have the mask on. It was a disguise because he's really Batman. We all know that, but I think he did a much better disguise. But Christian Bale, no, dude, no one was fooled. I think it was a worse disguise than Clark Kent's glasses.
All right. No, moving on.
That guy's Batman. Come on, who's he for?
Okay, moving on with the chat. We got Matt saying Superman and Lois Silver Age is the definition of a toxic relationship. Got Dwayne Muth saying Jack Kirby, Jimmy Olsen, 133 through 148. Yeah, a lot of people are surprised to find out that the first appearance of Darkseid was actually in a Jimmy Olsen comic. Like, it's crazy. But yeah, I really like the Silver Age, the Superman, and all his friends. It's just a lot of fun to me. Marvel and DC, happy 30th birthday to Luke.
Well, thank you. Thank you for the birthday wishes. I like to ship Lana Lane and Lana Lane and Superman, super dude.
Yeah, we were just talking a little bit about Superman for All Seasons, and I was talking about how that story brought you to tears.
It definitely did. You want to get out of the way? You're kind of hogging the frame from the cat. This is her channel, you know.
All right, we got Collecting Chaos. I'm pretty solid on the Jimmy Olsen Superman's family from about 1966 to the last issue. That's pretty impressive, dude. Nice. Yeah, I mean, I guess if you're looking to complete runs, like Superman from the Silver Age, like Superman and then all those connected stories, like you can find those for dirt cheap. Like I find Silver Age Superman in like dollar bins, like Silver Bronze Age Superman in dollar bins. So yeah, pretty cool. Then we got Dwayne saying indie comics. Yeah, indie comics. I definitely, like I said earlier, I want to start reading more indie in 2025. You know, maybe I'll kind of scale back a little bit on some of the single issues. Like, obviously, I'm going to keep collecting the stuff that I'm actively hunting. But I might try to focus more on, like, getting some more trade paperbacks. Like, when I first got into collecting comics for many years, I avoided single issues. I just didn't really want to deal with it. And I built up a pretty impressive trade paperback collection, particularly Batman. I have really good chunk of Batman, but I want to start reading more indie, and I feel like I'll definitely maybe start picking up some more trades. So I want to get back into that. So I like the way they look on a shelf, and I like the way they read. You know, I really like, as much as I love reading single issues and I love, you know, getting the story the way it was originally intended, you know, I do really like just being able to pick up a trade, take it wherever, and yeah, but I really enjoyed reading The Demon by Jack Kirby in single issue form. I feel like that's really cool, and I heard that the collected edition of that was actually not really good. Like, I heard that the paper and just like the print quality was not very good on that. Like, the colors looked weird. So really glad that I waited it out and tracked down all those issues. Got Angel Rivera Comic Cons are still packed every time I go. Yeah. Yeah, a lot of Comic Cons, they get focused on things that aren't comics too much, but in my area, like all the Comic Cons or comic shows I go to are just all about comics, and so it's pretty great. I guess you just have to know the right ones. Like the small shows, I think are absolutely the best. Like you can't get better than a small comic show. Like one of my favorite comic shops in the area, Queen City Bookstore. They run like monthly or bi-monthly comic cons. It depends. Like sometimes, but I think it's mostly bi-monthly. And yeah, they have a lot of cool vendors. They have just it's just all about the comics, and I absolutely love it. So of course I will definitely be recording every time I go to one of those again. Collecting Chaos. I have a friend that owns a store, says his new comic sales are up from the last few years. That's awesome, and I could definitely see that. Like, this is the year that got me into picking up new releases as they were coming out. Like, I never really did that before, and real talk, like there have been some stories that I've liked and I've picked up like trade paperbacks of, but man, like up until this year, there was just nothing that really got me out to the comic shop and wanting to read something as it's new. But yeah, I think now they're really getting back to that. They're getting the excitement. They're getting people wanting to go every week and pick it up. And every time I go on Wednesday, you know, people are always popping in. People are going to pick up their new books. Like, when it was actually cool when Absolute Batman came out, I went to a comic shop to pick it up. I didn't I think I left work early that day or something. So I went straight to the comic shop, got there like maybe 10 minutes before they opened, and there was like a line of people forming outside. I mean, it wasn't a crazy line, but it was just awesome to see that kind of excitement for a new comic. I hadn't seen that in years. So really cool. Got Dwayne saying retailers need to be able to get Kickstarters and crowdfunding books. Yeah, it would be nice. It'd be nice if more of these smaller independent books got the recognition that they deserve. Douchebag says, have you read any of the Scott Snyder Absolute Universe? Do you like any of them? I enjoy Absolute Wonder Woman. Yeah, I've read all of them so far. The only issue I'm not caught up on yet, I haven't gotten around to Absolute Batman 3 yet, and I haven't gotten around to Absolute Superman 2, because these last few weeks have just been crazy busy, and I spend all of my free time making YouTube videos at this point. But once the holidays die down, I definitely think I will be getting back into keeping up with my regular reading. But I am loving Absolute Wonder Woman. I think I had that as my number 3 comic of the year, and Absolute Batman was number 4, so right behind it. I started off liking Absolute Batman more, but Absolute Wonder Woman number 2 that just sold me. Like Wonder Woman and the US military's teaming up to fight some demons. Fuck yeah. Alrighty. You click the chat, it will show on the screen. Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, I am new to streaming. This is my first time using StreamYards. Last stream I did, I kind of had to it was weird, but I couldn't use StreamYard. It was giving me a hard time because my channel used to have a different name when I was younger, and then I changed it to Gotham&Glam when I started posting again. So it like kept trying to log me in as my old username, and it was giving me errors, so I couldn't use this last time. I actually had to go through and like clear my cookies out on my browser to actually be able to use StreamYard. Crazy. But yeah, I'm learning, and so for next stream, I will definitely be better. Definitely be better next stream. So here, let's see. Where am I now? Sorry. Behind. Okay, we got Dwayne, Batman animated. Let's see. Batman animated, Brave and the Bold, and JLA. All right. Alrighty, Matt. Thank you for popping in. We appreciate you. Got Dwayne, Marv Wolfman, and Gil Kane Action Comics, early 80s. Yeah, Marv Wolfman, phenomenal. Gil Kane, phenomenal. Kurt Swan is and always has been my favorite Superman artist. Yeah, dude, he's got some bangers. Got some bangers. Have you read the G.I. Joe Transformers Void Rivals Energon universe? I recommend it. No, I haven't, but I do keep hearing a lot of good things about that. And yeah, I'm honestly kind of surprised. But yeah, it's a surprising amount of people have been recommending that. So maybe I'll have to look into it. Yeah, I don't really know a lot about it, but sounds cool. And then got Dwayne again, Kurt Swan, Murphy Anderson. Cool. So everyone's just kind of naming off their favorite Superman character, Superman writer, Superman team. Really cool. Yeah, thank you for being here with me on Christmas Eve and keeping this chat alive. It's awesome. I've had so much fun chatting with you guys. I will have to hop off soon. We do have a Christmas party to get to, but yeah, if anyone has any last remarks, get them in. And again, if you're still here, Ben, congratulations on winning the Green Lantern slab. And if you haven't already, make sure to send me an email and tell me where that's going. Steve says, didn't know much about G.I. Joe Transformers, but yeah, I dig it a lot. Okay, well, maybe that's one that I'll check out in like a collected edition. All right, cool. So if anyone has anything else they want to say, get it in. But if not, we're going to cut the stream. Always trade weight. Yeah, that's a good call. It's definitely a good call. I definitely went a little crazy picking up new releases earlier this year. And, I liked a lot of it. I'm glad I did. I'm glad that I got to read a lot of these great stories as they were coming out. But there were a lot of them that I'm like, man, I could have waited on that. Synthetic panels, hello, how are you doing, my good sir or ma'am? I don't know who you are, so good afternoon, evening, whatever. Dwayne says Superman Exile trade is a good jumping on point. Okay. Superman Exile, who writes that? I don't think I know that story. Yeah, dude, I love Superman. I've been buying a lot of Superman lately because Luke especially has been getting really into Superman. I think that might be his favorite character even more than Batman at this point. And I have not gone that far. That would be blasphemous. in this house, we love the Bat, but I think Luke has definitely probably become more of a Superman fan, and that's kind of been his gateway into getting interested in comics. Said, Merry Christmas, tell Luke to keep his powder dry. Am I a boomer? Like, what does that mean? Keep his powder dry? Like, am I missing something? I'm sorry. I don't know what that means. Luke, do you know what this means? Come here. Here. I'm confused. I might need you to help me with something. This might be like a dude thing that I don't understand. This person, Dandy O Savage, said, Merry Christmas, tell Luke to keep his powder dry. What does that mean?
Nice.
What does that mean?
You keep the powder in your flip-flop.
Oh, is that like a gun thing?
I think so.
Is that your friend?
It's
Is that
my friend? I can only imagine.
his name is Dandy. Is that Randy?
I'm gonna. Hey, Randy,
I know Randy watches me, so it's okay. I was confused. Okay.
Powder dry.
Yeah, I don't know anything about guns. It's not my thing. Collecting chaos. I remember when I could buy 70 new comics for a single day's pay, and back then I was only making $1.75 an hour. Man, that is wild. We are living in a wild time right now. It's crazy. Like, I got to the point where on New Comic Book Day, I was limiting myself to $20 a week because there was just so many new titles I was picking up. And then I would start picking up like variant covers. Like if there was like a book I was really liking, I would pick up, like cover A and then a variant, because I have to have a full cover A collection, but also I really like variant covers. I really like getting to check out new artists and giving a spotlight to some artists. And I'm just confused. Like, why are the covers so much cooler than the interiors? Like, I understand that, it's a lot more work to make a full comic with that really dope art, but why, is it just me that, doesn't really think the comic art these days looks that good? Like, I like Dan Mora. I think Dan Mora is probably the best in terms of, interior art that we have, and so I'm glad he's doing Justice League. I'm glad he's on Superman, but, man, most comics that aren't, like Jorge Jimenez on Batman too. I like Jorge Jimenez. I like all that, but I feel like the ones that aren't, the main titles are just, they put the sloppiest looking art on them. It just, some of it looks like a child drew it. Maybe I'm just being too mean, but yeah, I don't know. I feel like maybe they should limit the amount of variant covers they put out and put some of these people to work on interiors, because man, I'd love to see some more of these guys do interior art. Serge Acuna, that'd be cool. Or I know his work would take a long time, but Lee Bermejo, I would love to see more Lee Bermejo on interiors. I'm glad we're getting another Hush story. Not because I think Hush is the best Batman story, but because I'm excited to see Jim Lee on interiors again. Real talk. Alrighty, where are we in the chat? We got few more now. Dwayne said Roger Stern, Jerry Ordway, and Dan Jurgens wrote Exile, which leads into the 50th anniversary. Okay, cool. I'll look into that, my friend. Dandy O Savage. That's Cheers. Alrighty, I'm pretty sure that's Randy. Good dude. Marvel and DC, y'all have a fun Christmas. Thank you. Tony D says, for real. Hey, Tony, thanks for popping in. Don't want to stay. And I'm really bad at streaming. Thank you guys for watching me. This is the most amateur stream I've My goodness. Okay, collecting chaos. It's not just you. I am saddened when I see a new book with an awesome cover and the interior art looks like it's phoned in. Yeah, dude, like, I don't know what's going on. And, like, remember when Absolute Power was coming out? They were releasing, like, some like Suicide Squad comic that was like a tie-in to it, and that just, it was not very good. I just didn't read it after the first 2 issues, but it was not very good. And I just remember the art like just not really looking that good. And there's been a lot of comics like that this year where, you know, for every good comic, I feel like there are 2 or 3 that are just kind of like, Luke wants more of the kitten. Well, you're probably with her right now. I don't know. I think you're out in the living room. Where is she? Is she in here? I don't think she's in here. You're doing great. Thank you, my friend Dwayne. Thank you. I hope I'm doing good. I think I'm good at talking, but the technical side, I'm still working through the technical side of streaming, but I'm sure we'll get there. We'll get better with it. Right now I'm doing the stream off of my phone just because the picture quality is better, but I'm sure it'd be easier to maneuver all this stuff like the chat if I were on my laptop. Like, I could just pull up the chat on laptop, but I want to be looking at you guys. I don't want to just be looking away. Oh, here's Fred. So we got both kitties on the stream today. And then Zombie God, which is Luke. Why I keep saying the name, that's Luke. It's his best nerd. I think I'm not really paying attention to who's writing. I'm just reading the chats. Oh, yes, man. Douchebag says he is terrified AI is going to take over comics. Dude, yes, I totally agree. I actually, there's something I've been wanting to talk about and make a video on, but like, you know, I'm just not really trying to like, you know, target people, but you know, there's been a big problem on YouTube with AI and like just passionless content. Like, I don't know, did you guys hear about the YouTuber Blooms who did like this couple month long investigation, and he uncovered this content farm, and they had the channel that, because he's a South Park content creator, this Blooms guy, he does like South Park video essays, and he found this channel that was like posing as like just a normal dude making videos, but it's like a team of people, and he uncovered this whole web of content farms over this like months-long investigation. And it's crazy, like a lot of people, the channel he found, it was called like Carrick Artman, and they were doing like really lazy like Wikipedia copy and paste, like sort of chat GPT scripts. And it's just insane how like so many people just watched this channel and didn't know. Like, that's the point we're getting to with AI, where like those of us who make content and like, you know, who understand the passion and the love that goes into the craft of making videos, I feel like we can spot that stuff pretty easily, but just the average viewer, I feel like, you know, someone who's not as in tune to what video production actually looks like, I feel like they can be easily fooled by that. And it's getting scary, and they're in every community. There are people making comic book videos, channels doing, you know, like story recaps that I likely think are probably, you know, doing something similar to this. It's a very similar thing, because they're in every niche. Like, he found like a whole web of over 200 comics, like, or 200 channels. Like, they found like a huge web of these channels, and they're in every niche, every community, and they're here in the comic community as well. And so, you know, something he brought up in the video is that we shouldn't go after people or try to like cancel people or anything like that, because it doesn't feel good. So the only way we can prevent this stuff is to just support small creators, and in comics as well, support the small guys, and call it out. Like when we see these AI bullshit, these AI covers, it's scary. It's scary. Like it's gonna be getting to the point where AI might be writing comics soon, and a lot of people might be none the wiser. Who knows? Maybe it'd be better than the fucking schlop they're putting out now. But I like a lot of comics right now, so I shouldn't really talk. We got Dandy saying that's a quality cat. Hell yeah. Dwayne, Big two writers and editorial needs to do their homework and stay focused. Too many multiverses, and that's what's watering it down. Yeah, man, I agree. I am totally over the multiverse. I think that should not be a focus at all. I think the multiverse is just kind of an excuse for writers to just write really dumb stuff that has no consequence. But that's just my take. I definitely agree. Okay, douchebag 16. Society doesn't really underestimate and takes all forms of art for granted. Yeah, I agree. And I think we're getting to a place where people are starting to really appreciate the authenticity of like real content, and people seem to be longing for like that old style of YouTube where it really was YouTube and it wasn't so corporate. But unfortunately, people don't find those videos anymore like they used to. Like now a lot of stuff is just news, corporate nonsense. And I hear so many people say like they're tired of YouTube, they're tired of what the algorithm pushes to them. They want that real touch, that real person, but those channels just don't get shown, and it's really a shame. It's really, really a shame. Okay, we got Collecting Chaos. Big Two also needs to ease off the crossovers. Yeah, definitely agree. I'm really not the biggest fan of crossovers, for real. Like in in comics, I like some of like the old Silver Age and like Bronze Copper Age crossovers, like when you get into Brave and the Bold, stuff like that. But yeah, I'm not really a big fan of crossover movies of like superhero teams. I just kind of like to see everyone on their own. Like I really don't like Batman in the Justice League. I think it doesn't make sense for his character. I think Batman is a lone wolf. I think he works well occasionally with some of the Bat family. Occasionally he doesn't work well with them, but I also, I don't like how big the Bat family is becoming. I think like they just keep making all these characters that really don't add anything to the story. Like I kind of ranted about that a little bit in my top 10 list when I talked about my favorite comics, and I was talking about Green Lantern War Journal, and I was really excited to see a story focused just on Jon Stewart because he's a character that we all actually love, and they just keep adding all these characters that don't really add anything to the stories. Like there's just like an ever growing list of Bat family characters, and feel like none of them have really done anything to like shake up the status quo of Batman since maybe like Tim Drake or Red Hood coming back to life, like Jason Todd coming back to life. I feel like that's probably been like the biggest sort of shakeup in the Bat family, and since then everyone else who's come in, they just kind of come and go. And so yeah, definitely tired of the crossovers. I think comics and movies in general need to be more focused. And I think that's how we get people to keep reading comics. I think people are confused. Like, they're reading Batman and then they got to pick up like a Batgirl title to go along with it, They won't understand this Batman comic if they don't read, Nightwing or like some people they just don't want that. And, I think, we should keep characters' comic runs to themselves with the occasional crossover, the occasional event. That's always cool. I love Blackest Night. Like, Blackest Night is one of my favorite comics, but I think they really haven't done a great crossover event since Blackest Night. And I think it's just because ever since then, we got the New 52. And then after that, it's just been focused on like resetting things back to the status quo because they keep bringing in like all these shitty writers that mess things up. And they have to keep going back. Like they might have a strong foundation. Like Rebirth was really well received at first, and then people really kind of turned sour on that after a little bit. So yeah, I think really DC, they're just trying to find that like that big push to get people to actually be excited, and maybe All In is that. Because we're actually getting the excitement, but who knows? I mean, maybe people are just excited because it's new. I mean, I would say that the excitement behind Absolute is genuine. I don't know what DC is really planning to do with All In moving forward, because it's not like it's reset anything outside of just Darkseid kind of tearing a hole in the universe, but yeah, so I'm pretty sure, isn't like the multiverse done in DC now? Like, aren't they abandoning the multiverse in favor of all of this? I have no idea, man. It's hard to keep up. I just read the comics I like. It's hard to keep up with all the other crap. Okay, do you have Green Lantern Corps 201 first Kilowog? Hey man, I'm actually giving that away today! And we already picked the winner. But yeah, this was my only copy, and it is no longer my copy. And the reason why I'm giving this away is because I don't collect slabs. This is the only slab that I own, and I think someone else will appreciate it more than me. And I would rather just track down a raw copy. I don't think that'll be too hard, especially since Green Lantern books are pretty unloved. So, we don't see a lot of love for Green Lantern keys, but maybe I should try to track that down before the Lantern show, because if Kilowog shows up in that, and that show's popular, he's gonna break out. Like, I am surprised Kilowog isn't a more popular character. I love Kilowog, he's fun. It's fun. Okay, and then we got, Dwayne with the multiverse, there's no consequence. Yep. I'm glad more people are willing to say it. Best line in the Justice League movie was, "Flash, what's your superpower? Batman, I'm rich." Yeah, I remember thinking that was pretty funny. But yeah, man, that movie, that humor in that Justice League movie, overall, it was not too good. That was one of the instances where like they put the best joke in the trailer. Okay, let's see. Green Lantern War Journal is absolutely fantastic. Unfortunately, I don't know if it's still running. If it is, I'm pretty sure by now that it has strayed away from the creator's original intent. That is done. They did end it with issue number 12. I think it was originally supposed to be an ongoing series, but yeah, it was originally intended to be an ongoing series, but it wound up just being a 12-issue run, and it is over. I believe it ended a couple months back. Have you read Gargoyle of Gotham? Yes, I would love to read issue number 3. Where you at? Yes, it's been like over a year since I read Gargoyle of Gotham, and it's probably one of my favorite comics that I had read that year. Like one of my favorite recent Batman books. Like where it at? We got Weston Newbar. How are you? Thank you for popping in. Merry Christmas to you as well, sir. Too many Robins, too many Batgirls. Superman family is freaking huge. They need to focus on a character. Yeah, I agree. I really like having, a supporting cast, a supporting family for these characters. I think that it's, it really adds humanity to the characters and kind of grounds them a little bit, but there can definitely be a little bit too much focus on it. Dude, bring Alfred back. Like, I feel like everything's just been downhill since Alfred's been gone. For real, for real. Got Dwayne. Great run of Green Lantern Kilowog. Yeah, I love Kilowog, man. Kilowog is the GOAT. Like, my first sort of introduction to Green Lantern, like, I knew of the character before, but what really made me a Green Lantern fan was the Green Lantern animated movie, First Flight, and Kilowog in that was really, really cool. And I didn't finish it, but I watched a little bit of that Green Lantern animated cartoon, and I really liked Kilowog in that. They did some really cool stuff. Scrodius 69, heck yeah. Collecting Chaos. I'll have to look. I may have a couple Green Lantern Corps 201s laying around that are extra. Oh, that'd be cool. Yeah, I definitely want to pick up a copy of that soon. That might be a priority in the coming year. Because who knows what that Lantern show is going to do to it. Weston says, can you see me in the comments? Yeah, I called you out. I shouted you out a little while back, my man. Here you go. Here you go. You're on the screen now. Sorry, man. I did say hello, but I'm sorry if you missed that. Appreciate you. Appreciate all of you for being here. Again, thank you. I said I was going to cut the stream like 45 minutes ago, but you guys are just keeping this chat alive, and I love talking to you. So thank you again so much. Like, I really can't believe that many people are here chilling with me on Christmas Eve. That's really, really, really awesome. Have you read Beneath the Trees That Nobody Sees from IDW? Not yet, but that's another one I keep hearing good things about, and I keep going on about how I want to read more indie, and I'm really, really excited to start exploring some new stuff. So that'll be a primary focus in 2025. So definitely, keep giving me your indie recommendations. I love seeing them. I love hearing about new stuff. So yeah, cool. We got Dwayne. Gargoyle of Gotham 3 is out this Thursday. Damn, I didn't hear about that. Okay, I'm going out to the comic shop on Thursday then. Shit. Alright. That's one. I've been waiting like a year for that. I might have to actually reread issues 1 and 2 just to freshen up, since it's been so long. And I've read so many comics in that time. So many Batman comics. You read Gunslinger Spawn. I've not read any Spawn, but sounds cool. Gunslinger Spawn. Yeah, I've been hearing they've been doing a lot of cool stuff with the Spawn this year, kind of building up that universe, and that's really cool. I hope that the Spawn fans are digging that, and it's not ruining the character. Got Scott. Scrotus saying Poozer. Awesome. And then we got Dwayne. Yeah, the Green Lantern animated show. I think that was kind of one that people forget about a little bit. I don't really hear much. But yeah, it was fun. That was cool. So yeah, guys, we are approaching the 2-hour point, and so I think I will have to cut the stream for tonight. But I really, really appreciate all of you coming out and hanging out with me. Like, it's just, it really, really makes my day. to see all of you guys here and keeping this chat alive. Thank you. You love reading comics, and I'm an older reader, and I appreciate building readership. There's a lot of great stuff. Yeah, there's good stuff if you know what to look for. That's for sure. It's unfortunate that you have to sift through a lot of not so good stuff to get to it, but just you got to do your research. You got to research writers. Like, I think really why I'm picking up certain comics and why I'm so picky is because I've started focusing on following writers and creative teams a little bit more. So that's why I've been loving Ghost Machine, because all of those guys that are doing Ghost Machine have written or drawn other stuff that I've loved. And so I'm just kind of following them where they go. And that's sort of where I think I'm getting at with my current comic book reading. I'm following the writers and the artists. And so, yeah, I really like Scott Snyder, and I like what he's doing with Absolute Batman. I had not read any Kelly Thompson as far as I'm concerned, but I really am liking her run on Wonder Woman, Absolute Wonder Woman. I'm not sure if I've read any of her stories. I might be wrong, though. John Brown says Grommets is pretty good if you're into 80s skater vibe. Okay, yeah, that's one I've never heard of. Thank you for the suggestions. Got naysayers. Thanks for the videos. You're welcome, man. I'm glad you're enjoying them. Got Dwayne shouting out Ghost Machine and Transformers, Void Rivals. Awesome, good stuff there. Collecting Chaos. There has always been good comic stories and not so good ones. I've read a lot of schlock comics over the years. That is true. That is pretty true, man. Like, I think a lot of people that, we remember the big, great stories from back in the day and kind of forget about the ones that just end up in dollar bins, So, yeah, it's pretty accurate. You got your hands on Mark Spears' Monsters yet? No, I have not. I keep seeing people share them on Instagram, though, and I'm really digging a lot of the covers for it, so maybe I'll have to look into that. Yeah. Got Space Ghost. Okay, that's a cool one. It's a different one you don't hear too much. You like Frank Miller's work, specifically Dark Knight Returns, Year One, Daredevil Born Again. He's such a good creator. What do you think happened to him? If you don't like him, that's perfectly okay. Well, I like him. I like The Dark Knight Returns. I like Year One. I would say they're not like my favorite Batman stories. I do think that maybe they're a little bit overrated, but I think that they're great for people getting into the character. Like, I think you could just give them Year One to start out, and then The Dark Knight Returns. I think those are good starter Batman stories. Luke is actually a huge Frank Miller fan. His favorite comic ever is The Dark Knight Returns. And I like Frank Miller. I think what happened to him maybe got a little like washed up, a little like, smelled his own shit a little too much, and maybe just kind of, he lost the desire to really put effort into his work. Because like, I see his work now, and I'm like, man, some of this, it just straight up looks like a child drew it. Like, some of it, it's like, damn, I was drawing better shit in kindergarten. And I think that he's just gotten kind of full of himself to the point where he knows people will buy it if it has Frank Miller. And even if it looks like shit, he gets all these people talking about it on social media, and these books wind up getting like this crazy value sometimes just because of how ugly it is. So I think he knows what he's doing. I mean, he's always had a bit of a weird style. Like, I'll be real, I've never been the biggest fan of his art style. I think his writing is phenomenal. I think he's one of those writers that really, really gets Batman and really just sticks to the core of what's important to the character. But yeah, his art was never my favorite, and it's gotten worse and worse. Like, at least, like, in The Dark Knight Returns, there was a bit of, like, an edge to it, it's a little rough around the edges, a little bit, it's a little messy, and, those stories are kind of messy, so we kind of like that for Frank Miller, but I feel like the amount of effort he's put into being consistent over the years has definitely gone down. And I think he knows what he's doing. I think he knows he's putting out dog shit, and he knows he's going to get reactions from people, and they'll still buy his comics anyways. So, yeah. Johnny Quest, Miller Sin City. Okay, yeah. I actually bought Luke. It was like a Blu-ray set of the 2 Sin City movies years ago, and we've been waiting to watch them because he wants to read the comics first because he loves Frank Miller and hasn't gotten around to it yet. But it's definitely one I want to check out. Batman Brave and the Bold, late 60s, 70s, 80s. Hell yeah, dude, I love Brave and the Bold. I have I've been building up a pretty decent collection. I still have a good ways to go, but yeah, I have a lot of like the Jim Aparo ones from like the 80s. A good little run of that, but yeah, I definitely want to pick up more Silver Age, Brave and the Bold. I have a couple of the Neil Adams covers from that era, and they're pretty cool. I think Frank Miller is doing a cover for Deadpool Wolverine. Yes, is it the one? I saw one with Deadpool and Wolverine, and it really did not look very good, especially when you look at Frank Miller's work on Wolverine back in the day, like that 4-issue miniseries he did. Those are like some of the most iconic images of Wolverine. So to see how far he's fallen with it really is a shame. But I guess when you get to a certain level of success, some people just kind of phone it in at that point because they know they're getting the paycheck. Frank Miller and Walt Simonson, RoboCop versus Terminator Dark Horse. All right, that sounds cool. Yeah, we like Frank Miller, and Luke's a big fan of RoboCop and Terminator, so that might be something to check out. Angel says, what's your oldest Batman comic? I'm not sure issue numbers, but I do have like few 10-cent early Silver Age. I don't have any Golden Age yet. I'm just not in the place where I can buy anything like that yet, and I haven't found any for just like a crazy deal. So I don't have any Golden Age Batman, but do have some early. Like I think I have maybe some like pre 200. Yeah, I got some pre 200 issues. I got like that Mermaid Batman one. That one's like an early Silver Age 10-center, and I have a few others from that era too. I'm blanking on issue numbers though, but yeah, I got some early Silver Age. I want more Golden Age though. I think I have like one Golden Age comic that's like a Superman comic that's like coverless, and I think I just got it for dirt cheap or something, but I don't really count that. Have you read The Last Ronin? You know what? I started it, and I am planning to finish it very soon, so don't spoil anything. But yes, you have a hardcover out there, and so currently going through reading. So I love Turtles, man. I love the Turtles. I have since I was a little kid. I was always a Leonardo fan. I always liked that he was a strong leader, and I always kind of felt like I had some Leonardo energy in me. I feel like Luke's a Michelangelo for sure. What about you guys? Let me know. Neil Adams, Nick Cardy, Jim Aparo, and with zany Bob Haney. All right. From Dwayne. Well, you guys are awesome, dude. We are reaching the 2-hour point. Like, I thought I was maybe just gonna stream for like a half hour. Like, I had no idea how long this was gonna go on for. Yeah, I thought like I was just gonna spin the wheel, maybe a couple people would show up, but like, we've been pretty consistent. Like, we've gotten to like 20 some people in the chat, and we've been pretty consistent above the 10 viewer mark. So that's really awesome. And you guys have been keeping this chat alive for 2 hours. Thank you so much. Seriously, I do have plans to maybe start doing like a weekly sort of live stream. I talked about this a little bit last week when I live streamed. I want to maybe do like a kind of a news show. Like I did something like that on my channel where I was sort of testing it out, but I feel like it was limiting. I want to have more time to talk about stories where we can bounce off each other like this. And you guys can let me know some cool stuff that that I may have missed out on. So yeah, I definitely, I love getting this community together. This is awesome. And so thank you so much to everyone for coming out tonight. Collecting Chaos says, I don't think I have any Batman comics before 1958, though I do have some Superman and Tarzan that are older. Cool, yeah. Nerdy Trucker. When it comes to turtles, my favorite depends on my mood at the time. Sucks that I'm catching this at the tail end, but hope you have a good holiday. Thank you very much, Nerdy Trucker. And I feel you, man. I feel like all the turtles are a vibe, and like I go through phases of that. Like I definitely have some moments where I'm sort of like a Michelangelo, or like a Roth, where I kind of just want to be to myself and sort of go off and do my own thing. So I definitely get that. I get that. Yeah, but man, thank you for stopping by, even if it's at the end. I really appreciate you coming in and saying, hey, Batman Annuals, late 60s reprints. Yeah, I like annuals. I like anything Batman from the 60s pretty much. I just associate all of that with Adam West. Like when I see that like 60s Carmine Infantino artwork, I just think about like reading it in the style of the 60s, reading it in like Adam West and Burt Ward's voice. So yeah, really cool. So yeah, thank you. You guys are awesome. Like really, thank you everyone who showed up. Merry Christmas to all of you. And congratulations once again to Ben, who won the Green Lantern 201. And I will definitely get that out to you by the end of the week. I will put together special little Green Lantern care package and throw in some extra little goodies for you. So thank you so much. We got Angel again. Love the 100-page specials. Yeah, and it's always cool when you get like a bunch of stories. And I'm not the biggest fan of like reprint stuff and those kind of collections of stories, but I think it's cool to flip through occasionally. It's cool to get a look at some older stuff. Like I read Batman Family #1, and it had like its own story, but there were also some reprints in there, and it was actually really cool, like getting to read some old like Golden Age stories that don't really get reprinted much. Like there was one where Alfred like accidentally catches a crook just because he wants to try out a new pair of handcuffs, and he wants to go show his butler friend, but his butler friend got hijacked, and like there was like this dude impersonating him. Like it's just like some wild stuff, and I love it because I love Alfred. So man, that was a treat to read. So thank you, Angel, for your comment. And then we got Dwayne saying, I went from Adam West to Neil Adams, and whoa, yeah, dude, that's a big difference. That's definitely a big difference. And yeah, Adam West, love it. I love every era, every version of Batman. Like, real talk. I'm a big fan of history and watching how characters evolve over time. And so I have an appreciation for every era of comics, every era of Batman, every era of movies, whatever it be. I really, really like seeing how, different characters are reflected in different times. And, as much as we might like to shit on some of the stuff that's coming out today, I think a lot of it is a sign of the times and will be important to look back on in the future for better or for worse. But yeah, I definitely a big change. Neil Adams is probably my favorite Batman artist, though, for sure. And I think a lot of people, Neil Adams and Adam West, R.I.P. Yeah, dude, I was so sad when Adam West passed away. I remember it. I was at work at the time, and I think I was actually like an old friend from high school, like messaged me and was like, dude, did you hear Adam West died? Because I used to show everyone that movie and that show. That used to be like a staple. Like, if you came to my house, you were watching 60s Batman. And so I was surprised that he found out before me, honestly. But yeah, very cool. Got Jim. Hi, Celia. Englehart and Rogers Batman was my favorite. Laughing Fish. Okay. Alrighty. Thank you very much, Jim. We appreciate you for popping in. Always appreciate reading your comments. Very, very insightful individual there. So that's cool. Yeah, thank you guys. Thank you. And okay, cut and stream, because I could just stay here all day. Real talk. I could stay here all day reading these chats. I love it. I love interacting with you guys, and this is a lot of fun. So I definitely think we're gonna do more of these streams, and yeah, I think I'm gonna make it a weekly thing because I want to really do the news coverage, and I think it would be really cool to bounce ideas off of you guys and to get, I can get recommendations in real time of stories. Like, maybe a story breaks while I'm streaming and I missed it. So you guys who are in the know can inform me. I think that would be awesome. So yeah, again, I'm cutting the stream now. I don't want to. I really, really want to keep this going. Jim, thank you. Happy holidays from a too old DC fan. Oh my goodness. No, dude, I feel like I'm too young. Like, I feel like I'm the only person. Like, there are a few people around my age that I see. Yeah, man, DC is 100 years old. Like, you are not too old for comics. But yeah, I feel like that it's kind of the reverse. I feel like I'm too young. Like, I'm definitely not the typical comic fan, the typical comic reader. I'm not what you would say is in the demographic, but man, I love it. And I think a lot more people would love it if they knew about the great stuff that was happening. And so that's why I'm doing what I do. I want to get the word out. I want to keep, comics alive. So maybe I can, reach a new audience who might not know that because of being younger, being me. So that's my goal. That's my hope. I want to reach new people. I want to get as many people into comics as possible. And yeah, so yeah, there's no too old or too young to be into comics. If you have a comic collection, you're a collector. If you like these stories, you're a comic fan, there's no reason to gatekeep anybody. We all like what we like, and that's cool. Alrighty, and then we got Dwayne again. Another way too old DC fan, according to himself. And then got Nerdy Trucker. Never too old or young for a comic. That's right, man. That's right. Like, there are comics for everyone. Like, yeah, a little kid probably shouldn't be reading some of the comics that come out, some of the darker, more violent. Like, I wouldn't give my kid Hyde Street, you know? But then at Ghost Machine, they have, like, the Rockefellers story, which I haven't read, but that seems to be more like the family one, the one that's more suitable for kids. So, you just really have to know what you're looking for. But I'm losing my voice, guys. I can feel it. And I have a Christmas party that I'm an hour late to because I just love talking to you guys. So it's okay. It's a bunch of people I don't know. So I'm not too worried about it. But yeah, this has been awesome. So thank you. I'm going to cut the stream right now. So thank you, everyone. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays, whatever you celebrate. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you have a good time with your family, and I hope you get a lot of nerdy goodness. If you're on Instagram, I can't wait to see the fun stuff you get. So thank you, and yeah, peace.